Welcome to the spoken tutorial on LibreOffice Calc, working with cells. In this tutorial, we will learn how to enter numbers, text, numbers as text, date and time in a spreadsheet, how to use the Format Cells dialog box, how to navigate between cells and in between sheets, how to select items in rows, columns and sheets. We will be using GNU Linux as our operating system and LibreOffice Suite version 3.3.4. So let us first learn how to enter data in the cells. We shall open our personal finance tracker.ods file. You can type any text in a particular cell by simply clicking on the cell and then typing the text using the keyboard. The text is left aligned by default. One can change the alignment by clicking any one of the alignment tabs on the formatting bar. Let's undo this. Now click on the cell corresponding to A1 in the spreadsheet. You see that the selected cell gets highlighted. Here we have already typed the column headings. Under the heading Items, we shall type the names of a few items one below the other as salary, house rent, electricity bill, phone bill, laundry and miscellaneous. In order to enter numbers in the cell, click on the cell and type in the numbers. To enter a negative number, either type a minus sign in front of it or enclose it in parentheses. By default, numbers are right aligned and negative numbers have a leading minus symbol. Let us undo the changes. Now under the serial number heading denoted as SN in our personal finance tracker.ods spreadsheet, we want the serial number of each item one below the other. So click on the cell corresponding to A2 and enter numbers as 1, 2, 3, one below the other. In order to autofill the serial numbers, click on the cell A4. A little black box is visible at the bottom right corner of the cell. Drag it till cell A7 and release the mouse button. You will see that the cells A5 till A7 gets populated with the subsequent serial numbers. After entering the serial number of the items, we will now enter the cost of each item under the heading Cost. So we click on the cell referenced as C3 and type the expense for house rent as Rs 6,000. Now, what if we want to precede the number with the rupee symbol? Let's say we want to enter Rs 800 for electricity bill. So right-click on the cell C4 and click on Format Cells option. This will open the Format Cells dialog box. The first tab is Numbers. Click on it if not already selected. Various categories can be seen under Category, such as number, percent, currency, date, time and many more. Let's select Currency. Now under the Format option, click on the down arrow. This will display the various currency symbols from across the world. Let's scroll up and select INR Rupees English India. By default, Rupee 1234 is selected in the drop-down below. You can see a preview of it in the small preview area on the right. Under Options, we have the option to add the number of decimal places and the number of leading zeros that we want. Notice that as we increase the number of zeros, the selection under Format has changed to Rs 1234.00, indicating 2 decimal places. Notice the change is displayed in the preview area. Click on Thousands separator to add the comma separator for each thousand. Once again, notice the change in the preview area. One can also change the font style by clicking on the Font tab. It has various options for font, typeface and size. Explore font effects and the other tabs to learn more about them. We will learn about the options in the Alignment tab in another tutorial later. Let's click on OK. Let's type 800 and press Enter. You will notice that the number 800 is represented as rupees 800 with 2 decimal places. Now let's select cells C5 to C7. Hold the Control key and select cell G2 also. Notice all the selected cells are highlighted. Right-click on any of the highlighted cells and select Format Cells. Choose the same options as before. Click OK. Now we type the expense on all the other items, one below the other, as rupees 600 for phone bill, rupees 300 as laundry charges, and rupees 2000 as other miscellaneous charges. Under the heading Accounts, we type the salary for the month as rupees 30,000. For entering date in Calc, select the cell and type the date. You can separate the date elements with a / or a hyphen or use text such as 10 October 2011. Calc recognizes a variety of date formats. Alternately, one can right-click on the cell and choose Format Cells option. Choose Date under Category and the desired format under Format. I will choose 12/31/1999. Notice the display in the preview area. Also, the format code is displayed below as DD, and YYYY. One can change the format code as required. I will type DD, and YYYY. Notice the change in the preview area. Click on OK. For entering time in Calc, select the cell and type the time. You can separate time elements with colons such as 10:43:20. Alternately, one can right-click on the cell and choose Format Cells option. Choose Time under Category and the desired format under Format. I will choose 13:37:46. Notice the display in the preview area. Also, the format code is displayed below as HH:MM:SS. One can change the format code as required. I will type HH:MM. Notice the change in the preview area. Click on OK. Let us undo the changes. After learning how to write text, numbers and dates in Calc, we will now learn how to navigate within a spreadsheet from cell to cell and from sheet to sheet. So we will first see how we can navigate from cell to cell within a spreadsheet. You can simply access a particular cell by clicking on it with the cursor. You see that the particular cell gets highlighted. Another method of accessing a particular cell is by using a cell reference. Click on the little black down arrow just to the right of the name box. Now type the cell reference of the cell you want to go to and press Enter. You can even click into the name box, delete the existing cell reference, and type in the cell reference you want and press Enter. Next, we will learn how to navigate between cells in a spreadsheet. The first method of navigation between cells is by using the cursor. To move the focus using the cursor, simply move the cursor to the cell where you want the focus to be and click the left mouse button. This changes the focus to the new cell. This method is most useful when the two cells are a large distance apart. Another method of navigation between cells are Tab to go to the next cell in a row, Shift plus Tab to go to the previous cell in a row, Enter to go to the next cell in a column, Shift plus Enter to go to the previous cell in a column. Next, we will learn how to navigate between different spreadsheets in Calc using the keyboard. For accessing the sheet to the right of the active sheet, press the Ctrl plus Page Down keys simultaneously. In order to access the sheet to the left of the current sheet, press the Ctrl plus Page Up keys simultaneously. You can also navigate between sheets using the cursor. Detailed information on this is available in the tutorial Working with Sheets. If you have a number of sheets, then some of the sheet tabs may be hidden behind the horizontal scroll bar at the bottom of the screen. If this is the case, then the 4 buttons at the bottom left of the sheet tabs can move the tabs into view. Let us undo the changes. For selecting a range of contiguous cells with the cursor, first click in a cell. Now press and hold down the left mouse button. Move the cursor around the screen, and once the desired block of cells is highlighted, release the left mouse button. You see that the selected cells are highlighted. In order to select multiple columns or rows that are contiguous, click on the first column or row in the group. Now hold down the Shift key. Click the last column or row in the group. To select multiple columns or rows that are not contiguous, click on the first column or a row in the group, hold down the Ctrl key, and click on all of the subsequent columns or rows while holding down the Ctrl key. For selecting multiple contiguous sheets, click on the Sheet tab for the first desired sheet. Now move the cursor over the Sheet tab for the last desired sheet. Hold down the Shift key and click on the Sheet tab. All the tabs between these two sheets will turn white, which indicates that they are all selected. Any action that you perform will now affect all highlighted sheets. For selecting multiple non-contiguous sheets, click on the Sheet tab for the first sheet. Now move the cursor over the third Sheet tab. Hold down the Ctrl key and click on the Sheet tab. The selected tabs will turn white, and any actions that you perform will now affect all highlighted sheets. This brings us to the end of the spoken tutorial on LibreOffice Calc. To summarize, we learnt about how to enter numbers, text, numbers as text, date and time in Calc, how to use the Format Cells dialog box, how to navigate between cells and between sheets, how to select items in rows, columns and sheets. Comprehensive assignment. Open spreadsheet practice.ods. Under serial numbers, type the serial number from 1 to 5, one below the other. Navigate between the cells using keys. Select all the items under serial number. Add a column for date and time. Enter some values in them using the Format Cells dialog box options. Watch the video available at the following link. It summarizes the spoken tutorial project. If you do not have good bandwidth, you can download and watch it. The Spoken Tutorial Project team conducts workshops using spoken tutorials, gives certificates for those who pass an online test. For more details, please write to contact@spoken-tutorial.org. Spoken Tutorial Project is a part of the Talk to a Teacher project. It is supported by the National Mission on Education through ICT MHRD, Government of India. More information on this mission is available at spoken-tutorial.org/nmeict-intro. This tutorial has been contributed by Daisy Crew Solutions Private Limited. Thanks for joining.